Alright, yo, what's going on, everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be doing another unenthusiastic review of Boruto's Dad, Next Generations. Today's episode is episode 23, titled Bonds Come in All Shapes, and it's the end of this whole Naruto Gaiden Shin arc, and it ties up pretty much every loose end we had, and I think it does so in a pretty unsatisfying way. I didn't think the episode was very interesting. There's a pretty well animated fight scene between Sakura and Shin very early on in the episode, but it's also balanced out with plenty of pretty poorly drawn pieces of art throughout the episode. There isn't really a whole lot of bad or stiff animation, but the art could definitely use some improvement at a whole lot of points in the episode. And there's one really lazy piece of animation where I'll actually get more into detail into this after I explain the animation problem, but where Sasuke is flying everybody to Shin's hideout with his perfect Susanoo so that they can rescue Sakura, and while he's in frame, he is a completely still image, right? Or his Susanoo is a completely still image, I should say, and the background is it's just like a JPEG essentially, and they just sort of rotate the Susanoo and have it move out of frame. That is so noticeable, that they just have one still image stacked on top of another still image. It looks really weird. And I thought it was super funny. Speaking of this perfect Susanoo thing, I also thought it was kind of hilarious to see Sasuke just using his perfect Susanoo to take everybody through the skies like it's a fucking airplane or something. I don't know why that was so funny to me. My cousin Kevin also thought it was pretty funny. He laughed when I told him about it, but maybe that's just the two of us. I don't know if everybody else will find as much humor in it as I did. I'm not really gonna bother with a big long plot summary of this episode. I'll just list off some of the key events that I found interesting enough to comment on, and then I'll wrap this up. So the fight between Sakura and Shin, like I said, that was good. That was a pretty solid plus. There was actually a lot of really solid action in this episode, but the biggest problem with it is it was very hard to get invested in it because you don't really... not only did I know exactly what was going to happen, but I didn't care much about any of the characters in the episode. I don't think they've been written very well throughout the majority of this last arc. At the very least, since everybody met with Shin, everything just feels watered down and a bit lazier. I'm not sure what it is about it, but yeah, the action was fine. It was just none of it really had me that invested. I wasn't super excited or intrigued by what was gonna happen next. Sarada did some pretty cool stuff, but I still think she's kind of annoying. And also, I was really annoyed by the fact that Sasuke kind of got bitched by Shin just because he didn't kill one of his clones. There's this point in the episode where one of Shin's clones just stands in front of the Big Daddy Shin, guard him from being killed by Sasuke, or being captured by Sasuke, that is. It was very reminiscent of Haku shielding Zabuza. But anyways, so I thought this was kind of silly too. I was already alright, this is pretty cliche, and it's not really getting any emotional reaction out of me like I'm sure it's intended to. And Sasuke's just well, I am a merciless bastard, so I'm about to fucking murder you. And then Sarada's stop it, Papa. And for some reason, Sasuke, who hasn't really given much of a shit about Sarada, at least not visibly throughout this entire arc, suddenly stops himself, and he's just oh no, what have I done? And then Shin just stabs both of them. His clone and Sasuke both get stabbed by this big long mega weapon made out of a bunch of different knives, and Sasuke's gravely injured or fucking whatever. And I'm just man, you couldn't put up his ribcage Susanoo or something like that in case this may have happened. Sasuke has crazy reaction speed too, I know for a fact that Shin's weapons do not move at the speed of light. Naruto was able to dodge Maru's light fang, which is light speed. Sasuke was able to keep up with him. He should have been able to throw up this at least a little bit of a defense, or maybe move out of the way, but whatever. Also, there's this really funny part later in the episode, just a little bit after this, where Shin's just oh yeah, using your Rinnegan power to switch places won't do anything. I'm gonna skewer you and your entire family with these weapons. And then Sasuke switches places anyway in spite of this warning from Shin, and Sakura just fucking decks him in the face. It is so funny. And then yeah, he gets wrecked. Another big thing in the episode is Chocho sees Choji in his skinny form. I guess I don't really know where he got this ability to become skinny or go back and forth between being fat and skinny. I'm not sure if it's a transformation jutsu type deal, or if it's a result, or if it's similar to when he slimmed himself down when he took the red pill back in the Sasuke retrieval arc in part 1. Speaking of, I missed part 1. It's so much better than Boruto. But anyway, Chocho just doesn't recognize him, like, at all, just because he's a little bit skinnier. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you serious, dude? By far, the thing that irked me the most in this episode was, so like there's this point where it's like at the very end where I guess Naruto, because he's a nice guy, decided to rescue all the Shin clones from the hideout and bring them to Konoha so that they could try and become regular people. Also, this only happens because I guess the Shin clones turn to the good side. The writers make use of this really overdone, overused trope where one of the bad guys betrays the other bad guy, and they're just like, oh yeah, you're useless to us now. You're old and decayed, and you told us to get blood. They all turn on Shin after he commands them to attack Team 7, and it's like, I think you guys get what I mean. Like, they just kind of explained that they were turning against Shin for a little bit too long. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, Naruto tries to integrate these guys into normal society. But I mean, first of all, no. Like, second of all, not possible, because they're all the same person. They're all clones of one. It would be like trying to make a whole bunch of shadow clones of Naruto and then have everybody treat them like their own unique individual human being. Unless they do something similar to the clone troopers, where they're all given unique armor, they all have unique haircuts, grow facial hair in a unique way, you know, something like that. It's gonna be impossible to distinguish them from one another, and I just really don't see the point. But that's not what really bugged me the most. I just thought it was really funny to see. What really got on my nerves was seeing Kabuto, like, being the one to address all of them. Did the writers forget that Kabuto was responsible, like 99% responsible, no less, for the 4th Shinobi World War? He collaborated with Obito, and Obito didn't really do that much of the work in the war. It was Kabuto who provided pretty much all of the muscle. He reanimated like 1,000, 2,000, a bajillion, or some ridiculous number of legendary dead ninja. And I guess Obito did have the Zetsu at his disposal, but it was partially thanks to Kabuto that they were able to be as strong as they were. You know, he reinforced their bodies and made them stronger and blah, 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 blah. But Kabuto provided like all of these legendary Edo Tensei ninja. These guys wreaked havoc across the world, and it was all Kabuto's responsibility. He's also the reason why Madara was revived from the dead, and why he was able to successfully carry out Project Tsukunome, allowing him to cast the infinite Tsukuyomi on the moon. That resulted in Kaguya's revival, and Kaguya nearly fucking killed everybody. And Kabuto is directly responsible for like all of that. And you mean to tell me that he's not in prison? He hasn't been put to death? He's just allowed to do whatever just because he had a change of heart? Are you kidding me? No, that's not how it works. That is stupid. I think those are all of my issues with the episode, pretty much. Actually, wait, one more. Karin. So she just shows up, and I guess I don't remember if this is how it was in the manga, but she says, like, it's pretty much the laziest way of dismissing the subplot with Sarada not being Sakura's child and her instead being Karin's child. Like, it just cuts to a scene of Karin talking to Suigetsu and her being like, what are you talking about? Sarada's definitely Sakura's kid. I did not give birth to her. And then Suigetsu's like, what are you talking about? It says right here on the test that it was, you know, her DNA matches your umbilical cord DNA or whatever. And Karin's like, well, that's because I delivered her or something. And I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, but sure, whatever, why not? Like, if it was really that easy for this DNA test to mess up, you would think that Suigetsu would have said something. He would be like, well, this thing's not the most accurate. Like, even the smallest, like just the tiniest bit of interference from somebody else can cause their DNA to get mixed up in the whole thing. And then, you know, it might say that you're their kid when you're not. So I don't know, maybe Karin's not your actual mom, chump. But nope, instead, he just acts like it's the end of the world. He books it out of there. He's just like, well, Sarada must be Karin's kid. It's just, there's a whole lot wrong with that. And then after that, Suigetsu's like, wait, I thought you were crazy about Sasuke. And Karin's like, I used to be, but I mean, really, all I want is for him to be happy now. And I'm just like, all right, hold lot of issues with this as well. First of all, there is no way this is the first time Suigetsu and Karin have had this conversation. He has to have been like, so how do you feel about Sasuke settling down with Sakura from the Hidden Leaf? Are you jealous? Are you upset by the fact that he got with this chick? You know, like, you would think that they would have talked about this or something, but no. Second of all, Karin, she was willing to do anything to get with Sasuke, dude. And I mean, like, he stabbed her with a Chidori Eiso just to get to Danzo, and she was still head over heels in love with him. So I find it hard to believe that she just got over him out of nowhere, but she's still willing to be friends with him. That seems a bit weird to me, but okay, yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. 2 out of 5 wasn't really good. I would suggest reading the manga. I don't know if the series of events in the manga is any different, but I just think because of the way it's delivered, it's a lot more solid. You know, I just remember reading the manga chapters and thinking, yeah, this is decent. You know, I have a few issues with it. I think plot doesn't line up in every way that it's supposed to, but you know, whatever. I can look past that because it's pretty entertaining. In this case, I don't really think so. There were just a whole lot of issues that I had with this arc. I would highly suggest reading the manga. And I know a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for just complaining about the episode the whole time. I mean, I'm not complaining just to complain. It's not like I actively want these episodes to be bad. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I know nobody wants me to fake my reviews, and I don't want to be like, yeah, I really liked the episode. It was really good shit, man. Like, no, I don't think any of you guys want that from me. You know, even if you do want me to like the episodes, I don't think you guys want me to lie and tell you what you want to hear, even if I don't believe it. So, you know, relax in the comments down there. Anyway, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and until my next video, I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.